Morning everybody. Right, bit of a job on the Civic today. We're going to be replacing the handbrake cables. We've actually got a handbrake cable that's snapped, so it's not functioning one side. I presume it's snapped. We'll see when we get it off. So we've got a pair of handbrake cables. Part numbers I'll put in the description. A pair of ABS handbrake cables. So the thing I'm least looking forward to with this is not even stripping the interior. It's the fact that there's 3 external bolts that look like they hold these onto the car. Let's do this. Firstly, what we've done is we've got this car jack right up in the air. Got 2 axle stands with the pegs clicked in the side for I don't know, extra bracing or whatever. Make sure it's all safe and nice. First things first, we've got this great big middle under tray that needs to come off. Yeah, but we're going to strip down the inside of the car first while we're still clean. But what I intend to do is the bolts, all the bolts, I'm going to give them a spray of WD-40. So this is the handbrake cable here. We've got 1 bolt in here, inside there. I'm going to give that a good spraying with WD-40. Is going over my wheel, but don't matter about that. Don't have to take the wheels off if you don't want to, but it's probably a good idea. So give them all a good soaking of WD. That's 1. We've got 1 on the inside here. Up there, look. I think. Bracket here, so it's going to be this one here. So give it a good dousing. My rear beam's not looking too great, but it is what it is. And then we've got 1 on the inside of this shield here, right there. I'll give that a good dousing as well. Right, so that's those ones done on that side. We're going to move to the other side. So, first one is here. Good dousing, front and back. Don't worry about the wheel, there's only WD-40. Right, there's 1 up here, so give that a good dousing as much as we can. Lovely. And then there is 1 in there, or inside there. So that one will get extra crusty. I'll give that a right good dousing of WD. We'll just have a quick look about what tools we're going to need when it comes to it. So, there's a load of push fit clips in this middle shield if you've still got it on. Looks like there's a 10mm bolt or something in the middle there, so we'll give that a dousing. Make sure, and hope that doesn't come out in, or snap off, should we say. And the rest of it looks like push fit clips all the way around. That is a big old shield. Big old shield. So I'm going to see if I can get away with just removing the back. If not, I'm going to have to remove the whole bloody thing. Joy of joys. But now we're going to move on to the interior. It just makes sense, do the interior first while you clean, and then we'll tackle this down here after these bolts have soaked in WD. Let's go to the interior. The car now. So the interior is really simple. So the first 2, you want to get the seats all the way forward. There's these little clips here. Flick 1 off. And then there's you can either use a 10mm or an a 10mm or a Phillips screwdriver on it. I've had these apart many times before, like when I did all my sound deadening, so I know that they're not obscenely tight. Put that bolt down there for safekeeping. There's another one here. That one out, and then from memory there's 2 more on the front portion. Yep, there is, so we need to move the seats back now. So with the seats all the way back, you can see the other one. There's 1 on each side. Little screwdriver, flick the cap off, and another 10mm stroke Phillips screw. Easy peasy. Put him down there. On the passenger side now, other clip, same as the others. Flick the cap off. Phillips screwdriver or your 10mm, whatever you choose, Depends on how tight they are. Once that's out, that is out. Right, what I suggest you do is remove any accessories from your cigarette lighter. And we will go back in the back. That was the way I did it last. So once you're in the back of the car, you've got those 4 bolts out. The centre console now will literally just lift up. You lift it up at the front, and it clips out of the middle compartment. Back even, and there we go. You lift the handbrake cable up, the handbrake lever up, and then everything should start coming apart, like so. Right, so you've got one plug down here on the cigarette lighter, so remove that. It's now off and free, and we can stand up and try and awkwardly to do this with one hand. Then we're going to lift it off like that. There should be some more plugs on the bottom, which are not yet plugged in. Nope, that's fine. And that reveals our handbrake mechanism. So we'll move that centre console out of the way. And there's our handbrake mech here. So we've got one cable that's buggered, which will be this one here. The other one, which is fine. So, there's an adjuster underneath this trim. The adjuster is literally on the back here for the cable. So, we'll find out what that is. Typically, I've took half the car apart. Find out what size socket that is. So that's 10mm on the back of the lever itself. Just here, look. You want to loosen that back, get all the you want to give the cables as much slack as possible so we can get these two out of here, where these the ends of the cable slot into this rocker thing here. Okay, so we'll get these out, we'll get this on adjusted and get these cables out. Don't back the bolt all the way off. You at least want a couple of threads still on it, so we can get a bit more play here. Don't want it coming apart in the trim itself. So there we go. We've backed that bolt right off. We've slackened this cable. Let's give us some nice slack now to play with. So we'll go back into the back of the car so you can see what's going on. Right, so we're now back in the car. In the rear of the car, and we can see we've got some nice slack in this cable now. What we're going to do is we're going to see if we can slide this off. We probably can't yet. But this is the broken cable here. He's likely going to be able to come out. Yep, he's out. And then we've got the other side. Yep, he can rock out as well. Okie dokie. So that means that the cables now should all pull out from underneath as soon as they're ready, and then we post the other ones through, and that is as simple as that, I believe. And they slide out of there, they're all loose in that holder. Yep, so now it's just a case of slotting the new ones through once they're located. So yeah, let's get that undershield off. Forgive me if this video is not coherent, it's like 30 degrees out here. It's doing my best. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave you there and I'll just describe to you what's happening. It's a bit awkward filming under here, so I'm going to get these push fit clips out, get as many out as possible, try and save them. If you've got broken legs like that one, then we'll replace them. So just bear in mind that you may need new clips if you intend to refit the shield. As I say, many people leave this off. I want to leave it on simply because it's an extra thing that repels crap and whatever off the road. Brief recap, because I don't know if that was spinning the screen or whatever. There's two clips on here. There's two bungs that hold the cables in. We'll get you on screen there. Now we've just got to get out these rusty bolts from everywhere. 13 mils, I think, maybe 14s. can we get on that one? I'm going to need a extension for that boy. I'll give him another spraying of WD-40 and we'll have a crack. Check inside the car, unhook the cables from the actual routing. So now we should be able to simply just flick them off the caliper here. So there's one sliding pin that holds them in the caliper. We'll do that. This one is completely seized. This is the buggered side, obviously, but it's off now. So yeah, 2 sliding pins there. We'll have a look at that in a minute. We're going to try these bolts now. So this pig fucker anyway, guys, that's the 2 cables in, handbrake cables in and across routed. Snap bolt on that side, so the cable, I'm gonna just have to cable tie it until I can get a rear beam. That side's all right. All the bolts are fucking old and chatty and shite, but I've greased everything up to max. I can't literally do any more without getting another beam, so yeah, they're in, and hopefully that handbrake mech will work. What I need to do is I need to get my missus in the car and just get her to operate it while I'm spinning the wheel, and to see if the handbrake's actually doing anything, because it was seized all the way on. It was seized all the way on, so I've managed to unseize it, but with it being seized all the way on, I could still spin the wheel. So I think the handbrake mechanism in the caliper's fucked, which is really annoying. But we'll see if me messing with it's done anything, hopefully. It's fucking not old. It's unbelievable. Top, they're clipped into the back, so they're all on. We've got the undershield back on. We've given everything a little tickle over with some fresh underseal. Yeah, so we've got used a load of fresh clips for the middle shield, because I wanted to keep that on. So we've got fresh clips, and they're the ones with the metal inserts in. If anybody's wanting any of those, they're dead cheap on eBay. So they've got the metal inserts in them, so they're a lot stronger. They're good for the undershields. We're routed up here, so I've put a blob of grease back on these. They're all routed into the channels, they're plugged in. So all we've got to do now is test the handbrake itself. So I'm waiting on a second person coming to operate the handbrake lever for me while I have a look at the wheels themselves to make sure that mechanism on one side isn't jammed, if you like. I had to free off on this side, which caused the cable to snap. But yeah, we'll wait for that other person to come, and then we will have a look-ski. Just to add as well that that second person is needed for getting these properly adjusted, because what you can do is you can make adjustments in the car to the cable's all the way backed off at the moment, so there's no adjustment on it whatsoever. What we want to do is we want to slowly start winding that up and spin the wheels at the same time. As soon as we start feeling resistance, which is the cables being operated, we then want to back that off slightly to make sure that the wheels are free, but we've got maximum adjustment in the car. That should give us minimal clicks on the handbrake lever itself, and sort the handbrake out. So get back to you shortly. Right guys, so once you've got your cables installed, if you can remember right at the beginning, we slackened this bolt right off, right off, look, so it's almost on the nylocks. So what we have to do now, please ignore my trim, it's I broke it again, so I need to repair it. But yeah, what we need to do now is have a quick feel of the wheels, make sure that there's no binding there. By binding I mean if the handbrake's kicking in or not, and if the wheel spins freely, which yes it does, it spins freely. Check both sides. That's spinning freely. And then what we've got to do is crank the handbrake on. How many clicks have we got? 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 clicks, 5 good clicks. We could probably get more, but we don't want to stretch these cables. So we've got 5 good clicks there on the handbrake. And if that's locked the wheels up, so we can just spin that one, which means it needs adjustment. Let's have a look at this one. We can just spin this one, but we can see how that handbrake is coming in now, yeah? So, what we're going to do is we're going to take the handbrake back off. I can't remember what size socket it was a 10, wasn't it? Yep, so in this little adjuster here, we're simply going to give it a few good turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just so we've got a little bit of thread poking through. 9, 10. So we've took it about 2 threads. And now we do the same thing. So the lever might be a little bit stiffer. So how many clicks we got now? Put it back to neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4 a pull. 4 a pull now. And we do the same thing. So I can still just move that. You've got to manhandle it a bit, because remember this is going to be taking the weight of the car, so I can still just move that. So we're going to do the same thing again inside. We're going to take the handbrake off. We're going to give it another 10 cranks round, get another thread poking through. We should be somewhere near. So handbrake off. Back on with the 10mm. And all this is doing is putting the preload on the cable, taking the slack out. So, how many clicks we got now? 1, 2, 3. We still get 4, so I'm going to give it another couple of cranks. One, 2, 3, 4. A very, very, very pull 4. So the handbrake's now on, and we'll see if I can move it. I can still just move it on this side. This side, same, I can still just move it. So, just do this slowly, and it'll make sure that you've got the correct adjustment on the handbrake itself. So, again, we'll do the same thing. Put you in here. I'm going to drop this back. Drop this back. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, we can get 3 clicks on that handbrake now. Give the foot brake a couple of pumps. Get those calipers moving. We're about where we were. We are about where we were now on this. So put the handbrake on. So we're still spinning freely. Put the handbrake off. That's with the handbrake on. Let's see. We're tight now. We're tight now. So that's how we've done it. We're going around to this side. Same on this side. We're tight. So that is it. That is how you adjust the handbrake. So always start from fully slackened off when you've fitted new cables. It's even good to do that if you've got if you fitted new pads on the rear. It's always good to slack the cables off, because you've obviously got less movement there, due to the thickness of the pads and whatever. Something that I've always messed around with, because I like the absolute optimum when it comes to my handbrake cables versus just cranking it up on the, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Best adjustment possible. So that is it. It's just a case of rebuilding this interior in reverse, which is the center console. Back on. I'll attempt to glue my trim back on, and that is it. So all these cables are lovely, all sorted. Job done. Hope this helps.